Runda is the ultimate dream for anybody working hard to own a palatial home in Nairobi. But some dreams are indeed expensive, very expensive.
If, for instance, you were to put this house on the market right now, how much would it cost?
I would want at least 100 million.
100 million?
Yes. At least 100 million, yes.
It's a lot.
Yes, it is.
If you want to rent a house here, a 3-bedroom house would go for something like 250, between 250 and 300. Much big houses, that's a monthly rent. Much big houses would go for 300, 400. I know of some houses which go for 500.
It's the neighborhood where billionaires bond over Italian wine, and the battle for who owns the best house involves diplomats, leaders, and expatriates.
We have governors living here. We have got CSs, senators, MPs, and judges too. Yeah, and also we have got embassies operating from here, the offices, residents, yeah, and members of the United Nations.
But why would a place where embassies exist have such structures, you may ask? Runda is where both swanky and slum settlements coexist. Or do they?
Hapa wanatakanga tuhame. Gedogoro Runda wakutaki. Na sisi ndio tunawafanyia kazi. Sasa tunashindwa sisi wizi tukihama, nani atafanyia hawa kazi?
It's all about luck, luxury and liquid in this week's episode of Area Code. I'm at the north of Nairobi, inside the home of Cyril Nabutola, a man who's worked in more than 3 different careers and now offers much of his time sharing his knowledge and experience with others.
This is a picture of our family.
The father of 3 lives here at this 4-bedroom house in Runda, where he hopes to spend the rest of his days. It's a house investment his family made more than 20 years ago that is now reaping big benefits for him.
Which is your most favorite part of the house?
Well, most times I'm here. I can't tell you it's the dining room because I don't eat all the time, but I think I spend a lot of time in the TV room. I spend a lot of... Yes, sure, you can have a look. I also... And I use it as a place where I do some work as well while there. So this is the TV room. This is where I sit. The family is more pictures of the family are here. There's that when they were much younger. There's Leon, Frank, and Chilande. And then there's our son graduating when we went there in 2009, I think, I'm not sure.
The room that has like your memoirs.
Yeah, exactly. So all that. And so I spend time here if I'm relaxing, but most times I'm doing a lot of work in my room. Work to manage my companies and things like that, just to make sure they're working. So this is our TV room.
But Cyril's TV family room is only a small part of a larger establishment that sits on a half-an-acre parcel of land in a neighborhood where luxury is more of a right rather than a privilege.
How many rooms, by the way?
We have 4 bedrooms upstairs and 2 downstairs.
So it's 6 in total?
6 in total, yeah.
Lucas Omariba, who owns his own half-acre plot, having moved into the estate in 2015, would however disagree with that statement. He would not tell us how much it costs to build this house, but he insists that he is a man of modest means.
So this is our dining room. This is our little son Joseph. He's struggling with his lunch. Yes. Yeah. So this is the kitchen area. Then we have a laundry and pantry on the other side.
You have a big kitchen. Kitchen is the size of people's bedrooms.
We actually don't spend much time downstairs, so most of the time we spend upstairs. Yeah.
And you did mention you have an office.
Yes, we have we have a little office.
For you?
Yeah, it's a home office that we all use. But at the moment, we are not.
Outside?
Yes.
To see that.
At the moment, we are not using it. But yeah, so this is, yeah.
So if I could ask,
Yes.
how much would this cost me to live such a lifestyle? How much would it, on average, would it cost me to live this life?
You cannot do it all at once. You start, if you are able to get a piece of land, so buy the piece of land, then, take a breather, get some cash, take loans, then do the construction. What I normally advise people is once you start construction, for heaven's sake, don't stop. Because once you stop, then you're bleeding money. Just do the house until it gets to a level that you can move in.
Even though Lucas remained non-committal in revealing the true cost of living in Runda, Cyril, on the other hand, admits it indeed requires great financial might to call this place home.
If, for instance, you were to put this house on the market right now, how much would it cost?
I would want to at least 100 million.
100 million?
Yes. At least 100 million, yes.
It's a lot.
Yes, it is.
According to the House Consult Index, the average rent rate for a house in Runda is 328,000 shillings a month. Land value is nothing less than 80 million shillings for an acre parcel. The high property value in Runda is no coincidence at all. This entire area became a hotbed for real estate development in the early 1970s after Kenya won the bid to house the United Nations Environment Programme headquarters. Demand for housing for the delegation and expatriates who would work at the United Nations Environment Programme would lead the Pan-African Insurance Holding Limited, now known as Sanlam Limited, to kickstart construction of Phase 1 of Runda Estate in 1972.
There was an Italian owner who owned this vast land here, and then it changed over to a Greek owner. And then, let me not say uncertainty, when it went to Pan-Africa Insurance Company. Then Pan-Africa had a subsidiary, which was now this was a pure land selling company called My Properties.
In the 8 years leading up to 1980, My Properties built Old Runda with houses quoting on 1 and 2 acres before developers got half-acre plots in Runda Phase 3 in the early 1990s. Phase 1, which comprises of what is now known as Old Runda and Runda Mimosa, initially comprised of 50 housing units, but now has 1,200 homes. Back then, even before independence, Runda was a coffee estate owned by various coffee companies who had minimal housing for their staff in the area with 3 coffee processing factories. Now, houses dot the nearly 600 acres that make up the entire Runda area, with newer housing developments like Runda Mumwe coming up. Residents like Lucas and Cyril live in what is known as New Runda Estate, comprising of 250 housing units. The houses were built in half-acre plots by the Kenya Commercial Bank and sold to buyers in 1992.
And I think the effort was for the bank to try and find new ways of being able to, one, obviously get new revenue streams, but even more important is to provide an opportunity for those Kenyans that perhaps preferred to live in areas that had a more sort of comfortable atmosphere and they could afford it to be able to come and live in a place like this. And that meant, therefore, that you're basically leaving or moving away from the ordinary estate sort of atmosphere that we have in a lot of locations. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you are picking a place that gives you a bit more depth and outlook, that gives you some comfort and space.
The favorite is my outdoors.
Oh, you love the outdoors.
I love the outdoors.
Comfort and space is what you find in plenty in Runda Estate. That, alongside several embassies and diplomatic residences that enhance the exclusivity of the entire neighborhood.
We have governors living here. We have got CSs, senators, MPs, and judges too. Yeah, and also we have got embassies operating from here, the offices, residents, yeah, and members of the United Nations.
But in Runda, what you see is not always what you get. The neighborhood, though boasting of exclusivity, hides an intriguing past riddled with neglect and underdevelopment that we explore when we come back.
Nyumba ya chini ni 2,000, ya juu ni 4,000, 3,000 hivyo hivyo.
Na wanatakanga kukuhamisha by force. Wanafikiri sisi ni wizi. Na sisi bado ndo tunafanya hii kazi hii Runda. Sasa hii Runda wanatakanga kuhama. Watapata wapi wafanye kazi? Na inavaa tuhame, wakuje tuhamishwe. Na wafanye kazi tunaona watakuja Kakamega ndio nikuja nifanye kazi hapa.